On May 12, 2025, the flower full moon occurs in Scorpio, a sign known for its intensity, emotional depth, and focus on transformation. This full moon is likely to highlight areas of your life where something hidden is ready to be seen, whether that's a truth about yourself, a relationship, or a decision you've been putting off. It's a time when important realizations come to the surface, pushing you to make changes that may have felt overdue. Here are 5 key things this Scorpio full moon might reveal about your life. Emotional truths come to light, what you've been hiding from yourself. The flower full moon in Scorpio acts like an emotional spotlight, and it's not subtle. Scorpio is the zodiac's truth seeker, especially when it comes to emotions we bury or deny. Under this moon, feelings you've pushed aside may come flooding to the surface, sometimes unexpectedly. You might feel more sensitive, irritable, or overwhelmed, not because something is wrong, but because something within you is finally being revealed. This is the time when your inner voice gets louder. You might suddenly realize you've been pretending to be okay in a relationship that's draining you. Or maybe you've convinced yourself you're satisfied at work, but deep down, you feel stuck and unfulfilled. You could notice jealousy, anger, sadness, or guilt. Emotions that aren't bad, but are often ignored because they're uncomfortable to sit with. The Scorpio moon doesn't let you hide. It's not here to shame you. It's here to free you. When you become aware of what's really going on inside, you can begin to make honest choices instead of reactive ones. Emotional clarity leads to empowered decisions. This phase may bring old memories or unresolved issues to the surface. Sudden emotional outbursts or breakthroughs. An urge to journal, cry, confront, or confess something. Realizations about patterns you've repeated for too long. Instead of running from these moments, try leaning in. Let your feelings speak, not to overwhelm you, but to inform you. The truth might be uncomfortable, but it's also your doorway to growth. Reflection, questions. What emotions keep resurfacing no matter how much I try to push them down? Is there a part of me I've been afraid to confront or fully accept? What would it look like to honor the truth, even if it's messy? This full moon asks one thing. Be honest with yourself. You don't need to fix everything right away. Just start by telling yourself the truth, because that's when real transformation begins. Endings and transformations. What you must release to evolve. The Scorpio full moon is not here to gently suggest change. It demands it. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth. And when this energy peaks during a full moon, you may find yourself standing at the edge of something that once felt essential, but now feels heavy, outdated, or simply wrong. This is a shedding, a clearing, a closing of doors. But here's the truth. Every ending is a beginning in disguise. What you're being asked to release now may be deeply embedded in your life. A job, a relationship, a self-image, or even a dream you've clung to for years. Scorpio doesn't deal in surface-level shifts. It goes straight to the root, pulling up what no longer supports your growth. You might feel a deep knowing that something has run its course, an urge to let go, even if it scares you. The collapse of a structure you've relied on, mentally, emotionally, or physically. A realization that something you thought defined you no longer does. These moments can feel like crisis, loss, or confusion, but they are actually thresholds. And this full moon acts like a mirror, showing you the price of holding on versus the freedom of release. Ask yourself honestly, what am I still carrying that no longer belongs to me? What am I afraid to release, even though it's weighing me down? Who am I becoming if I let go of this? You might grieve what's ending. That's normal. Even when we choose to release something, there's loss. But in that empty space, something else begins to form. Clarity, freedom, peace, and alignment. You're not just letting go, you're making room. This transformation may show up in several ways. Emotionally, letting go of guilt, shame, or blame. Relationally, setting a boundary or ending a connection that drains you. Spiritually, shedding limiting beliefs that keep you playing small. Physically, clearing clutter, habits, or environments that restrict your energy. Remember, what is ending is not a punishment, it's protection. It's the universe realigning you with your purpose, your truth, your next evolution. Ritual suggestion: write down what you're ready to release, old identities, people, habits, fears, and burn the paper safely, under the moonlight, as a symbol of surrender and renewal. Affirmation: I honor what has ended. I trust what is beginning. I step forward unburdened and ready to grow. Power shifts and control, where you need to reclaim your inner strength. The Scorpio full moon doesn't just bring emotional truth and transformation, it also exposes power dynamics. This lunation will show you where you've given your power away, where control has become toxic, and where it's time to take your strength back. Scorpio is all about power, not loud, performative power, but deep, quiet, soul-level power. The kind that doesn't need to control others because it's rooted in self-respect, clarity, and truth. But when that power gets distorted, it can show up as manipulation, fear, guilt, or codependency. This full moon acts like a spotlight, revealing those imbalances in relationships, work, family, and even in your relationship with yourself. You might notice you're constantly trying to keep the peace, even at the cost of your own needs. You've stayed small to avoid upsetting someone else's comfort. You're caught in power struggles, giving too much or trying too hard to stay in control. You feel resentment building because you've said yes when you really meant no. This Scorpio moon asks, where have you given away your power? What are you afraid will happen if you stop controlling and start trusting yourself? This is a time to reclaim what you've outsourced: your voice, your decisions, your confidence. You don't need permission to stand in your truth. In fact, this lunar energy insists that you do. Reclaiming your power doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's quietly walking away. Sometimes it's setting a boundary and sticking to it. Sometimes it's finally saying what you've been afraid to say, not to hurt, but to free yourself. This full moon may bring clarity about unhealthy dynamics, romantic, professional, or personal. A shift in how you handle conflict or confrontation. The courage to walk away from controlling people or situations. A realization that control is not the same as safety. It may feel intense, Scorpio always is, but this is a breaking point that leads to breakthrough. You may feel anger, grief, or fear as you realize where you've been giving too much, compromising too often, or staying quiet when you needed to speak. But underneath that emotion is your inner strength, rising again. Reflection prompts: where do I feel powerless, and why? What have I been trying to control that I need to surrender? What would change if I started trusting myself more than others' opinions? Affirmation: I no longer shrink to make others comfortable. I trust my voice, my power, and my path. Spiritual awakening through intuition. The Scorpio moon's psychic message. The flower full moon in Scorpio is not just a cosmic event. It's a spiritual portal. As Scorpio governs the hidden, the mysterious, and the deeply psychic realms, this full moon acts like a spiritual antenna, tuning you into messages from beyond the surface of your everyday awareness. While other signs may speak through action or logic, Scorpio communicates through feeling, instinct, and energy. Under this moon, your intuitive senses, the quiet knowing, the gut feelings, the whispers in dreams, are heightened. And if you slow down and pay attention, you'll notice your soul is trying to speak. This full moon can trigger what feels like a spiritual awakening, not in a dramatic, life-altering flash, but in subtle, soul-deep realizations. You may suddenly know that a certain path is no longer right for you, without needing external validation. You might wake up from a dream that feels like a message from your higher self, an ancestor, or the universe itself. You could feel emotionally moved or spiritually shifted by a piece of music, a synchronicity, or even a random conversation. These are not coincidences. Scorpio doesn't deal in randomness. It deals in sacred timing and soul contracts. This moon opens a channel between you and the deeper forces guiding your life. You might feel an urge to withdraw from social noise and tune inward, a pull towards spiritual tools, tarot, astrology, journaling, rituals, meditation, heightened sensitivity, emotionally, psychically, even physically, a sense that something bigger is trying to connect with you. The universe may be trying to show you a truth about your purpose or calling, a warning to steer clear of something not meant for you, an answer to a question you've carried for a long time, a reconnection with your higher self, the part of you that always knows. This isn't about figuring it all out. In fact, the spiritual message of the Scorpio moon is often, stop forcing, start listening. You don't need to chase signs, they'll find you. All you need to do is create space for them to land. That might mean meditating in silence, going for a walk without your phone, or journaling your dreams for a few nights in a row. Scorpio's magic works best in stillness, in solitude, and in surrender. Practical things to try during this full moon. Journal. Ask your intuition, what do I need to know right now? And free write without editing. Dream work. Keep a notebook by your bed and write down what you remember as soon as you wake up. Tarot or oracle reading. Pull cards, not for answers, but for deeper reflection. Moon ritual. Light a candle, sit in the dark, and simply ask, what is trying to reveal itself to me? Questions to reflect on. What inner nudges or instincts have I been ignoring? What recurring dreams, signs, or messages keep showing up in my life? If I trusted my intuition completely, what would I do next? This Scorpio moon isn't just about what's ending or changing. It's about what's awakening within you. Your intuition is not a random whisper. It's your inner compass. And right now, it's louder than ever. Affirmation. I am a vessel for truth and wisdom. I trust my inner voice, and I welcome guidance from the unseen.